Welcome to the PSAV Inspiration Cafe, and I'm where technology meets inspiration. And I'm joined, when I think of technology meeting inspiration, I can't think of a name that embodies that more than Microsoft Corporation. And we're joined today by Kati Quigley, Director of Event Marketing with Microsoft. Kati, welcome.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here.
Thanks for giving some time to the Inspiration Cafe so we can talk just for a little bit about the world view from someone like yourself who deals so much globally and so in such a diverse fashion.
Sure.
You were a PCMA chair before this.
Yes.
How did that experience impact your view of the business, and what are those experiences you can use now?
Sure. I just finished my term last year. It was an amazing experience, something that I would never trade. I was able to give back to the industry that I have gotten so much from, that I've learned from. I truly believe in PCMA as an organization, as a provider of education and opportunity to build relationships in a network. And so to be able to serve in that was truly an honor. And so what it did is I met so many people that I didn't know. Having been a member for so many years, I would have thought I knew, a lot of the different people, but I just met so many people that are inspiring to me and that are, out there working every day in this industry to make it better.
One of the things that we've seen as we've talked to folks is that this industry is so driven by collaboration, by sharing, by openness, by mutual support.
Absolutely.
Have you experienced that as well, professionally as well as in the organization?
Yes, absolutely. You cannot be successful without collaboration, and truly it's partnerships. And it doesn't matter what role you play, what job you're in. We look across the industry and we have so many great partners that we've had for a long time. And you really have to look at that. We're all in it for the marathon, we're not in it for the sprint.
Right, and thinking about what your impressions have been, is that what you expected when you got in the business?
No, it's not.
Ago?
Yeah, no, I think a lot of people fall into this business. They don't realize that there's a whole industry behind the events business. And so when I fell into it, I didn't know what to expect. I thought I was going into PR, and I ended up being in the events business, right? And I love it. I wouldn't trade it for anything. I'm in a dream job. Absolutely.
Well, I think when we think of Microsoft and the environment, the challenging environment of always being on your A game, and you have such a supportive but very bright environment you work in.
Right.
And you're working globally, so that must be like drinking from a fire hose. I mean, for a meeting planner to do that is unbelievable. What kind of unique issues do you confront with that span of control?
Sure. It is tricky because it is a company that was built on innovation, and they continue to aspire to be that entrepreneurial sense. Even though we're 90,000 employees across the world, they still want everyone to feel like it's their business that they're running. So there's not a lot of mandates that are out there. And so as managing a centralized resource, what you have to do is influence as opposed to mandate. And so there's obviously a lot of work to going to that. You have to provide value across the company. Where we've found the biggest challenges is that because everyone can run their own business, there's a lot of duplication of efforts, and we're not as efficient as we can be sometimes. And so we've made a concerted effort, especially over the last few years, to try to drive that efficiency, but also continue to be effective with our events.
So, and I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, would you say you're decentralized strategically but centralized executionally?
We actually, we are now much more centralized strategically for the first time ever, and I think a few things drove that. One was the economy, drove the thought that everyone needed to start to think how they could do things smarter. And so we have a company-wide strategy that we're currently rolling out right now. We have a very strong network around it. There still is execution is actually a little bit more decentralized. We manage the large Tier 1 events, but then around the company, there's a lot of event planning going on. So what my job is to ensure that everybody understands the best way to go about it, have some roadmaps to follow, playbooks, that sort of thing.
Best practices that'll
exactly.
travel around the organization. I mean, that's fascinating, because you said earlier you're a company of 90,000 who are still thinking entrepreneurial and still thinking in terms of their own meeting. And I think of a Microsoft meeting where, let's be generous, everybody has smart people in the room, but a Microsoft meeting maybe has really smart people in the room.
Absolutely.
Are the audiences demanding? Are the audiences more demanding in a Microsoft meeting for content?
They absolutely are. It's interesting. We do both internal and external meetings, and obviously for our external meetings, one of the most important things is to continue to keep our brand integrity and to ensure that Microsoft's name has innovation behind it, and efficiency, and all of the things that we want to bring to our customers. Internally, it's a tough audience because they are all so smart, and they all have big jobs that they need to do. So to be able to deliver strong content that helps them in their day-to-day job is what's so important, and also to connect them, and that's what events are all about.
We talked a little earlier about the 3 pillars before,
yes.
And could you share some thinking on that? Because I know that's important in the company.
Sure. Sustainability is really important to the company, and it means so many different things. We're trying to make our products help the world be a better place with sustainability and so forth. And so we decided events, I think it's second behind the construction industry, we have the most waste. And so we decided with our events team that we would drive this best practice across the board throughout the company. And so we started a few years ago, and we have some pretty strict metrics in place to measure environmental success, but also there's social responsibility, so giving back to the communities, and then the financial performance of it. You know, a lot of people think, oh, if I'm sustainable, it's going to cost me money, and it actually doesn't have to. And so those are the 3 areas that we look at. And you know, when we go to a city, have we not impacted the environment too much? Have we given back to them by, you know, building a house, or you know, updating a school, donating computers, that sort of thing? And then financially, have we brought them any sort of economic impact? And so it's really important to us. And so we're able to measure that.
And these are corporate values that you hold dear.
These are corporate values, right, that we've then instilled in our events.
Let me ask, because not everyone works for as large a company as yours. Are those values that you express in CSR held by the employees? Are they not mandated, but pushed by the company?
They're absolutely held, you know, and I have to say, you know, given the CEO that we had and the founder, you know, through Bill Gates, that's truly his values, and it's infused within the company. You know, as individuals, when we give and donate, they match it 100%. They also match our time when we give time. And so it's really the culture that Microsoft, and that's one of the reasons I love working there.
So those things are given enthusiastically.
Absolutely.
And openly.
Absolutely.
For those who work in much smaller organizations, can they have their own 3 pillars? Is sustainability scalable?
Absolutely.
Is that one of those?
Yeah, absolutely. I think even the work that we're doing around our strategic plan, the work that we do on our events is all scalable. You know, my background is associations, so I understand the association side of the business as well as the corporate. And if I were to go back to associations, I could take what I'm doing at Microsoft and instill it in an association. It's, you know, all a matter of that foundation is the same. It's just how you go about it.
Okay. And people, because this is a people business, how do you feel the industry, or Microsoft in particular, is doing it, growing young people in the planning meetings industry?
Sure. It's really important because, you know, at some point, the next generation, you know, they're going to be the ones in the lead, and we have to prepare them, we have to mentor them and help grow them. PCMA is doing a really good job. I think that the last few years, Susan Katz is the chairman this year, and that was one of our initiatives, was to grow that community and connect with them, because we can learn just as much from them. They are growing up in a world of technology that we didn't grow up in, and so I think they know more than we do in that area, to some aspect. And that's the same with Microsoft, is that we need that fresh thinking, because when someone my generation, I know, uses technology, we're using technology, to them it's just a part of their life. Right. And they don't even see it. It's just part of what they do. So it's important.